With the windows up, you can see it's going to go black pretty quick, so the heat's going to build up. All that gas is actually flammable gas, and that's just been produced from the seat squab itself. And slowly you'll get to a stage that, although there won't be a flame up by the window, but from the back seat, as it heats up, you'll get just normal combustion of that gas, and you'll start getting the flames coming out the top. At that point, everything inside is really starting to melt. But you can imagine they can be quite a bit out of town, so it could be 7 to 8 minutes before we get there. You think that's been going for 30 seconds, it's already got a bit of heat in it. So at this point, if somebody had just torched that car and it had gone out, and we got there now, that car is a write-off. The smoke damage, the heat in there now is probably sitting at about 200 to 300 degrees. You can see where the thermal layer of the smoke's obviously up in the ceiling, but it's now all the way slowly coming down through. You get to a point that the windows will actually start to melt, and that'll actually give fire safety an idea of how it started or where it started from. Much to the disbelief, like in the movies where cars go bang, they don't. But it looks spectacular on the movies. The only things that will actually go bang is literally the tyre. The tyre will heat up and they can explode. Just going to give it a little bit of air in so it can get hold, otherwise it'll snuff out. Okay, so as you can now see, there's some air in it, and you can see, so you guys behind in the smoke, can you make sure you get right away from that smoke, please? It's very toxic. So you can see the flames are now up in the smoke. That smoke is obviously gas that burns. There's nothing up there at all as far as the material. The paint's now on fire due to the heat. At this point, if somebody stole the car, you'd call it hot. Okay, so the crew's now arrived. You see the front window starting to melt and crack. And the guys will now come up. You probably feel the heat from behind the fence. So they'll have breathing apparatus on, and for a car fire like this, they'll just use one high pressure delivery. They'll make sure they got all their safety gear. At this point, if there was somebody in their car, there's no way we're going to be able to save them. But they'll make sure they've got all their breathing gear on. They'll get up there and they'll be able to put that fire out real quick. As you said, by the time Lindsay's finished, Lindsay's a bit like a pit bull actually. He seems to love to get dirty. So see a scrub fire, you guarantee Lindsay's in there, boots and all. So you can see with his protective clothing, he can walk up to it, he's quite safe. I think the horn's sorted out. guys are just, normally we wouldn't be up there taking the horn out, but it's a bit annoying. Just keep away from that smoke, people, if we can. And that car is now definitely a write-off. Complete waste of a car when people do it. But it's a very common occurrence. I guess that's probably why we play so much on insurance. So now what he's going to do is going to get in there, make sure it's completely out. And depending on what it is, police would be called to the incident because obviously we've put the fire out and they will now investigate if it's, whose car it was, where it was stolen, was it an insurance job, and so on. A car fire like this is only ever a one-pump call, so there's only one truck will go this with 4 guys. We have had the odd one that has caught on fire when it's coming up the Bombay Hills, but it's very, very seldom. I think in 12 years I've been there, it might have been 2. But most of them are obviously stolen cars. So you see the guys have got their breathing apparatus on. The officer's walking around to see what he can see and just check in case there's any telltale signs like a rag hanging out, the petrol cap,